Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. While you're here, go ahead and show your girl some love by liking the video and hit subscribe if you're feeling the vibe, period. And go ahead and hit the hype button if it is made available for you because it allows YouTube to find viewers who might be interested in this kind of content and helps the channel. If you're new here, after each video / compilation, we do have a spiritual session where we talk about spiritual health, spiritual awareness, spiritual alignment, and of course, talk about the topic of the video in relation to all of those things I just named as well: spiritual health, spiritual awareness, spiritual alignment. Okay, so if you want to stay at the end for that, feel free to stay at the end. If you're interested in remote work, I do post remote work on my personal channel. I will pin that in the comments below. I have manifesting videos, how to set up your equipment if you have small kids at home and you work remotely, vlogs, all that again is on my personal channel. Okay. Now, mm, today's video, we are going to be, now I'm not going to hold you. This is going to be a long video. So I'm going to try to not make the spiritual session at the end long because this is already going to be long, honey. This is a long video. I came across that. I wasn't expecting it to have that many parts and be long, but it is good. So it is about, it's coming from a Christian lady, okay? A Christian lady who is an immigrant, okay, and she meets an immigrant pastor as well. And I don't know what country they do this in because somebody in the comments asked her, was this pastor Nigerian like she is? And she's like, no, they don't come from my country. So I don't know where this story takes place in what country, but you'll get it, you'll hear more details in regards to that about the story. But basically, this pastor turns out to be not who she thought she was and ends up messing up her life. She's supposed to be there to help her for the better, but she actually made it worse. So definitely we talk about spiritual manipulation here. Go ahead and watch this long story. This is for my long story lovers, and I will see you at the end for the spiritual session.
How I found out that my pastor was an agent of the devil. Getting ready for work, so I have to make the first part very fast. This video is to educate. This video is to warn people. Is to open the eyes of people. The spiritual world is definitely real. I am not here to lie about anything. Everything that happens to me, everything that I'm explaining is the 100% truth. As the word of God says in Jeremiah 10:10, the anger of God alone can shake the earth. So I'm not here to give any false information. And I will start from the very beginning of how I even got in touch with this pastor, how I allow her to pray for me. I will start from the very beginning. In the beginning, so back about 4 years ago, I was miserable. I was so miserable. I was in a relationship that I was constantly fight, argument, but God kept showing me dreams. God kept showing me vision that indeed this person was supposed to be someone that I was supposed to end up with or marry, blah, blah, blah. So I was confused, and me and this person, we had a great relationship. Beside the fights, we have a good rapport. Like, we can talk about anything. We can laugh and joke. When we go around people, they always question why we are not married, and we should be married because of the type of relationship that we had. When I tell you we have friendship, we have romantic, we have laughter, we can be serious, we both have good career. It was just all in one, just good. Like, anyone that sees us will be like, oh, y'all should be married. Even he has, gone to my parents in the past, tell them that he wants something serious with me. All of that stuff, right? But things was just not happening. Things was just always fights. Every time things would get, every time we get close to anything, there'll be fights. So I was miserable to the point my grandmother died. I fell into depression, and I'm like, okay, something is not right. So I went to Africa. Problem number one. I went to Africa, and my auntie or a family friend of mine knew that I was miserable. She saw in my eyes. She saw that I was emotional, that something wasn't right. So she, you know, being the auntie that she is, being friendly, she was like, I have a pastor that's big in my country that can pray for you. Like this pastor, she prays for people and things come to pass. She has prayed for people to get like their degrees, and she prayed for people all over the world. So they said, all over the world. So she's going to pray for you. And I'm like, cool, I need the prayer, okay? I need the prayer. So I went behind my mother's back, didn't tell my mom, because my mom saw that me and this guy was fighting too much. So she was already like, you know, I'm over this. Like, this is just too much. But me, on the other hand, I was like, something just don't feel right. I feel like our situation is more deeper than the arguments than fight. So I'm going to keep praying. And I'm going to keep asking and seeking the Lord. I'm rushing to do my makeup, so my makeup is really bad right now. So I'm like, something is not right. Something spiritual is going on. I feel it in my spirit that, you know, like, because it wasn't only this guy. In every relationship too, like, I'll see men just go. Like, I can be the perfect girlfriend, the perfect friend to any man, and I don't know what would make them just go away. They would just stop talking to me. Like, literally, like, I can cook, I can clean. I'm just well around a good person. Okay? So I'm like, something is not right. Something spiritually is going on, and I'm going to figure what it is. So I thought going to this pastor was going to give me the answer that I need. So when I went to her, first of all, I went to her house, and she was like, you're going to be the first person I'm going to take to my bedroom to pray. I looked at her. She looked very beautiful. In my eyes, I was like, oh, okay. She told me that she prays for young people, young girls that wants to settle down, get married, all of that stuff. So okay, I'm like, okay, I'm going to, here I am. Let's pray. So, of course, I'm a strong believer in God. I don't do no juju, voodoo, baba, whatever those people call their gods. I serve the great and mighty God, the King of kings, the Lord of lords, God of Abraham, Jacob, God of Isaac, the one who is and is to come. My Jesus Christ, the Lord of God, the almighty, mighty man of God. Okay, I can talk about God all day. But anyway, that's who I serve. Okay, so that's who she was praying to. That is the name that she was calling, and I'm here for it. I'm like, you serving the same God? All right, let's go. So when we started praying, she also called herself a prophetess. She's someone that she called herself a prophet, that she can see things, and things that she see, they can come to lives. So I'm like, okay, all right. So we're praying, and here is she prophesying, saying everything that was going wrong in my life. Part 2 coming up. I gotta go. I'll tell you what happened next. Day 2. All right, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, please go back and watch my previous videos about how I found out a pastor was indeed an agent of the devil, using the Lord's name to attract people. Okay, so I'm at her house. She's praying for me. She's saying everything that you can ever think that was wrong in my life. She was saying it. She said everything about my relationship. She said, oh, you're going to get married. You're going to settle down. But the road for your marriage is like a bridge that is broken. She was like, it's not like the guy in your life doesn't want you. He doesn't care for you. He wants you. Matter of fact, he wants to be with you. But the road to your marriage, for you to settle down, it's like a bridge, a broken bridge. It's like they planted something against your life. I was like, bingo, I knew it. I knew that my life, my situation was more deeper than physical. I knew that something spiritually was wrong. So I got my answer that I thought I needed. And I was so excited. I was like, you know what? Let me stop acting this situation in the physical realm and just start praying more. Just start seeking the Lord's face. It did not end there. So when I was at her house, she told me, please, I'm going to do an exercise with you. The exercise that I'm going to do, you're going to wear a ring for 3 days. And in 3 days, we're going to pray. Like a big fool that I was, I actually did it. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll wear the ring. And we're going to pray for that we're going to pray for 3 days. So I wore the wedding ring. She was like, I do this to all the girls that wants to get married, that wants to settle down. I do this for all the girls that wants to get married, that wants to settle down. Don't worry, you're going to get married soon. Matter of fact, you're going to get married to the person that that is the one that you're supposed to marry, blah blah blah. So of course, who doesn't want to hear that? If you love somebody, you're dating that person, and here comes a pastor that you claim was a pastor, say, oh, you're gonna get married, just do this, do that. Of course, you're gonna do it. So my dumb self, I wore the ring for 3 days, and here we are. We prayed for 3 days. Now, my flight was the next day already, so I had to leave Africa. So I left Africa. I took her information down, and we did the exercise. I'm back. We did the exercise for 3 days, and she was praying with me for those 3 days. Now, I'm back in America, and I'm still in a relationship with my ex-boyfriend at the time. I was not really fornicating in that month of January because I was literally in fasting and prayer. But let me remind you, I was not those type of Christian. I was like, oh, I'm not doing X, Y, and Z. I was literally doing everything in the book. So when I came to America and she prayed for me, we did the exercise. The very last day, sign number 1, the very last day when she was praying for me, my car was towed. I got my car towed. I was like, my car towed never happened before. I started crying. I was frustrated because I barely had money. So they towed my car. That was the first sign. Then my ex-boyfriend, at the time, he had came over. He came to rescue me. When they towed my car, he paid for everything. This lady now, I was still in contact with her. So she was like, I told her, oh my gosh, my ex-boyfriend is starting to act so nice to me. He's like being so loving again. I'm like, oh my goodness, your prayers must be working because we was fighting like crazy. And all of a sudden he's showing me this love. So I thought. After that incident or whatnot, I kept in contact with her. We kept talking to each other. She would pray for me every week. Things started happening bad. I started losing interest in going to work. Me and my ex-boyfriend, we started fighting even worse. To the point this time, we fought so much that we broke up. We ended the relationship. He broke up with me. He was like, I don't know what it is, but there's something is just, I'm not feeling you. Like, the fights, the arguments, I'm not feeling you. Like, we're done. He was like, well, the relationship is over. So, of course, like every girl, I was devastated. So guess who I called? Let's call this pastor Pastor P. Let's call her Miss P because she doesn't have the title of a pastor. She's actually a demon. So let's call her P. I called P. She was like, oh my God, don't worry. You guys are going to get back together. Let's pray. Let's just pray and fast. I'm going to give you an exercise to do. Blah, blah, blah. What is his name? Give me his name. That is the number one thing that they do when they want to do their spiritual stuff. They ask for people's name. She was like, give me his name. I'm going to pray about it. Blah, blah, blah. No, things became worse. Like, worse. Like, to the point where me and him was not even, like, talking, like, at all. We broke up. He moved on. Blah, blah, blah. I still was praying to my God. I still was praying to Jesus. I don't know who she was praying to. So I still was praying to Jesus. So I started falling in love with this lady. I don't know how I fell in love with her. I'm not talking about romantic love, but like I'm literally talking about spiritual love. Like I started like liking her so much. All of a sudden, I wanted to take care of her. I didn't care that I was not in a relationship no more. All I wanted to do was take care of her. I would send her money. Like, I'm an RN. And back then, I was making good money. I would send her money, dollars, like 500, 100, 600. So one time she told me that she's sick and she needs her fibroid to be removed. And I was like, okay, we're gonna go through the surgery. I'm gonna pay for your surgery. I pay for my surgery. I'm like, oh, you know what? You know, I'm giving to a pastor. I'm sowing seed. Every time she would pray for me, I would just sow seed. Money, money, money. Give my money away. Like, I would be sowing seed upon seed. So I paid for her surgery. I paid for her housing. I was like literally giving her money every week, all the time. And I just constantly kept on falling in love with her. That's another red flag. Falling in love, they will make you like them so much, doing everything for her. And then months later, weeks later, she told me she won the lotto to come to America. Guess what I did? So this is a part where I might get a little bit emotional. This is the part where I might shed a little tears from here on to the end of the story, because things got really bad. Things got so bad to the point where I didn't realize who I was anymore. I couldn't see who I was at all anymore. So basically, I was already in it so deep. I was already loving this lady so much. I cared for her so much to the point where when she told me that she had won a lotto to come to America, of course, you guessed right. I was so happy. I got so happy. I was excited. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to find a way to bring you to America. Yes. Didn't tell anyone about this. Didn't tell my parents about this. But I'm like, I'm going to try to bring you to America. I see you in front of my wedding. I'm seeing a vision of me getting married, and I see you there. I'm going to try to bring you to America. One thing you have to know about agents and witches, they know how to manipulate your mind. They know how to get inside your dreams. They know how to twist stories. They know how to twist things to make you feel like it's from God, but it's really not from God. So I got excited, and we started the paperwork. We started the process of her coming to America. She needed to go to an interview. I paid for her interview. I paid for everything, and they approved her for a visa, just like that. Right, with a blink of an eye, she was approved for a visa, and she called me one day. She was shouting, screaming, I got the visa, and here I was excited. Now, at the time, I was in my 1-bedroom apartment, so I was like, okay, I'm going to find a way for her to move here, and then we can figure things out. Before I paid for her ticket to come to America, I told the guy that I told my ex-boyfriend, and I was like, oh my God, I need you to introduce you to someone. She's a pastor. She's great. She's been praying for me. She sees all this stuff in my life, and I want to introduce you to her. Like a big dumb fool, I introduced him to her. Mistake number, I don't even know, 3, 4, 5. I introduced him to her. He was skeptical at first, but he was like, okay, you know, this is about God praying. She will pray for me, so why not give her my phone number? I gotta go, but I'll tell you guys what happened next. Maybe I'll drop the video tonight when I get off work. See you. Okay, now I introduced them together, and she started praying for him. The more I see her praying for him, the more I see him more and more distant. Because she's all about God and praying and all of that stuff, he'd never question it. He's already a giver. So he also started sowing seed. He started sowing seed. They developed a relationship. And she told him everything about his life. And of course, he got excited, and he also agreed. Mistake number, I lost count. So after that, I bought her ticket to come to America. And I got excited. I'm thinking me buying her ticket to come to America, she was going to do this miracle and just pray for us. pray for me, change all what's going on in my life, and just turn things around. And I was definitely wrong. So she came now. She arrived to America. And at the time, my friend was living with me. Okay, I had a friend that I was helping out just for just a couple of months or a couple of weeks. And I also introduced her to Pastor F. Let's call her Pastor F. And she's like, oh my God, she's saying everything about my life. I knew it. I knew all this is going on. She also got excited. Pastor F arrived at the house. Now it was a 1-bedroom apartment. So my friend was my friend was like, crashing in the living room while she goes to do her thing during the day. And she would just come when she needs, somewhere to lay her head. Now, Pastor F started saying, oh my God, how much she loved this friend of mine. She seemed like a great person. She's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, she's cool. But I noticed something started happening different in the house. Now, this friend of mine that was staying with me, I loved her. Like, me and her, we was really cool. We was really close. So I noticed I started feeling weird about that friend. I didn't really gravitate towards her anymore. The vibe in the house started feeling funny and different. The next thing you know, within a month, I would say, or less than a month, maybe a couple of weeks, she told me that this friend is a witch. She told me that I need to get this friend out of my house, that this friend wants to kill me, that the reason for my problems was because of this friend. And that she went to the bathroom, she was praying in the bathroom, and all she said was, God, if this friend is not supposed to live with Becca and I, let her leave the house if she's not a good person. So she told me this about my friend, and automatically I was already feeling weird about this friend. I was feeling different about this friend. Out of nowhere, as soon as she arrived, this feeling came. So guess what I did? I kicked my friend out the house. I will tell you guys later on in the story how I had to apologize to this friend because I realized that I was wrong for the way I did things. I kicked this friend out of the house. Now it was just me and her in the house. When she arrived, we prayed like crazy. She took me to the mountains to pray. She did so much exercise with me. I lost count. I can't say every exercise that she did here because I lost count. She made me wash my face with lemon. She made me wash my body parts with oh, you need to wash your private part. This is why men are not coming your way because you need to wash your body with this type of stuff. She made me sit on salt and this and that and all of this stuff she had me doing, and I was doing it like a big old fool. Anything she said, I was doing. So now, while in the house, I became a little bit closer to God myself. I started reading the Bible. What she did not know was that I started getting closer to God. I'm thinking because I'm seeing her pray every night when she came to my house. She was praying every single night between the hours of 12 to 3 a.m. But I could never hear the words that she was saying. She was chanting. She would be sitting down in my bed, going back and forth and praying. What I thought was prayer was not actually praying. Faithfully, she will wake up between the hours of 12 to 3 a.m. What happened next, I will tell you guys tomorrow. I need to hurry up and finish this story because I have family members. I have friends that are calling me, asking me to finish the story, asking me things about, so what happened next and this and that. I'm like, wait, hold up. Be patient, okay? But to be honest, I didn't want to share this story at all. I'm not here to bash anybody. Some of you guys would never know who this person is. I'm not here to bash anyone, but I'm literally here to expose the tricks and plan of the enemy and also let you guys know the power of God. Because the way this story ends, it's so beautiful. The way the story ends, you will know that God is real. You will know that Jesus is God. That's how powerful this story is. Really, that's my main goal, is to tell you about the tricks and plan of the devil, and to show you and to let you know that God is real. Like, God is awesome. I give God all the praise and God all the honor. He is the one that I'm praising. This is not about self. I'm not the one that discovered it. God is the one that discovered it, that opened my eyes to see the plan of the devil. And I know there's somebody out there who needs to hear this story. There's someone out there who may be going through situations in life and like, I needed someone to pray for me. I need to do something. I need to go somewhere. I need God to intervene. And sometimes the enemy, due to your desperation, due to your sorrow in life, the enemy may lead you to something or someone that is not of God. So that is my goal. So you'll be able to see who is from God, who is not from God. So, yes. So now she's living with me and she got me all to herself. My friend is out of the house. She got me all to herself. We're doing our weekly prayers. We're doing our daily prayers. Everything you can think of, we're doing. But one thing that I never saw we do, we never really had Bible study. But she asked me to buy her a Bible. And she specifically said she wants a Bible and she wants a black cover of the Bible. So I'm like, okay. I think she may have been suspecting that something is not right. How is she reading the Bible? How am I reading the Bible and she's not reading the Bible? So I bought her the Bible, and, you know, I work 12-hour shift. So sometimes I will come home and I will see her, you know, reading the Bible. I'm like, oh, you reading the Word of God? You're like, yeah, I'm reading the Word of God. And then every time I'm coming home, there's food on the table. Like, her cooking was good. Like, I mean, this lady can cook, okay? Let me give her props on things that she's good at, okay? Because this one, she can cook. And if you know me, I love food, okay? I love to eat. So who is a nurse that doesn't want to come home from work, from a 12-hour shift, and food is on the table, food is ready for you on the table? Of course, that was me. I was happy. Every time she'll be cooking me jollof rice, cassava leaf, crane, okra, all the good African dish she will be cooking for me. And I actually took some tricks from her. But one thing that was a little bit kind of skeptical is she'll be fitting me. And then also, the shoes that I wear to work were literally perfectly cleaned. Like, my shoes were so clean. Like, every time I come home from work, my shoes would be clean. When she was in the house with my other friend was like, oh, by the way, she will be brushing your shoes, cleaning your shoes. And later on, I don't know if I should say this now, but pay attention to the cleaning shoes. I will expose what that means later, what God revealed to me about her touching my shoes. My shoes will be clean. I will just be ready to go. Okay? Then the next thing, you know, I noticed, I introduced her to my mom, of course. My mom and dad was like, wow, this is so nice of you. You brought someone to America. Like, you pay for everything. That's like, wow, she must be someone very important to you. I was like, yeah, I met her. We'll be praying. My mom was trying to figure her out. My mom is a strong woman of God. I want you guys to pay attention to the story when I mention my mom. My mom is a very strong woman of God. My mom does not play when it comes to prayer. My mom have only been with one man all her life, and that is my father. Ooh, child, I wish it was me. But she was trying to figure her out. So sometimes I'll go to church on Sundays, and I will be staying over her house, and I'll tell Pastor P, oh, let's stay over my parents' house. Like, my parents had four bedroom at the time. So, you know, my grandmother was not there anymore, and there was nobody in my room. So I was like, you take my room and I'll take my grandmother's room. So you can stay in my room and I can stay in my grandmother's room. And she was like, okay. So she started going to my parents' house, but I could tell she didn't really like being at my parents' house. She didn't like it. She would always tell me, I don't want to go to your parents' house. I like to stay home. I'm a person that don't like to sleep over people's house. I like to stay home, so we need to stay home. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, well, I live far from my parents' house to my church and to my parent back to my house. So I'm like, to make it easier, I'm usually off on Mondays. I'm like, I'm not gonna drive back home on Sundays. I can just spend time with my family. I love family. I can spend time with my family. You know, we can all spend time. So sometimes she stayed, but on Monday morning, we have prayer line with my parents, and my parents would tell my mom would be like, oh, Pastor P, do you want to, lead prayer since you're a pastor? Pastor P never led the prayer. Never led the prayer. Every time my mom would give her the prayer, phone, she would like throw the phone away. My mom stated. So my mom was still trying to figure her out. So my mom was trying to figure her out. The next thing you know, I started turning against my mother. We'll be at home. She will be telling me, she told me that your problems, the reason why you're not settled is because there's someone on your mom's side that is doing witchcraft against you. And that I need to be careful with my mom. I'm too close to my mom. Like a big fool. I'm like, okay. I'm too close to my mom. And that my mother, I don't need to be so close to my mom for me to get my breakthrough. And months, days started passing by, and I was against my mom. Like, I love my mother. We have a great relationship. But everything she would say, boom, will piss me off quick. Everything that she would say, I would get angry. I would tell her, there's somebody in your family that's bewitching me. There's someone in your family that's bewitching me. Someone in your family that's doing witchcraft against me. And my mother would be so pissed. My mother didn't know where I was getting this information from. But I turned against my mom. Me and her start arguing, fighting. But one thing about me and my mom, we always make up really quick. But the word of God says, children, obey your parents. Obey your parents. I'm so big on that now because there was nothing happening for me. And I could see that, I don't know why I put so much makeup on today. I could see that my mother was a big impact in my life. So she turned me against my mom. I stopped going to my parents' church. I didn't really go to my parents' church all the time. Or whatnot. So God started showing me dreams. I'll tell you later this type of dreams that I was having in the house. And things started happening in the house. Physically, I started seeing things happen in the house. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. I no longer had interest in going to my mom's house. I no longer had interest going to my mother's church, my parents' church. For those of you that do not know, my parents are pastors. I no longer had interest in going there. This is where I get emotional because I now find myself in my house alone with her, and I was not happy. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. Every time I told her something don't feel right, she would always tell me that it's because of what my family is doing. It's because of someone in my mother's side that's doing something to me. That's why I'm not happy. Of course, I believed her, and she got me doing more exercises in the house. She got me doing like prayers. We'll go to the mountains. And one night we went to a mountain to pray, and I could hear dogs crying. And I told her, I was like, there are dogs crying. That's not a good thing. In my country, when dogs are crying, they said that usually that's a sign of death. That is a sign of death. So we was praying and I could hear the dogs crying. And the dogs were crying. We left. Another point is we came back. I came home one day from work. She was like, we need to go to the mountains and pray. I was like, oh, why? She's like, your friend left an altar in your house. When you're not here, the thing is glowing. And she put bad luck. She put bad luck in this house, in this bedroom for you. So we need to go pray in the mountain. So I started throwing away furnitures in the house that she said that my friend did. I threw it away. I started reading the Bible myself. I was reading the Bible. I was praying, calling on Jesus. I started being more stronger in the Lord. I'll be praying. And I bought a headpiece to pray. And that headpiece, she wanted me to tie my head every time when I'm praying. And I told her to pray on that headpiece. Basically, all what I was praying, my prayers was just going down the drain, basically. The next thing you know, I was reading a book, a prayerful book. And I felt like that was the Lord doing. I found myself, I shaved my entire head bald. I shaved my head bald because I just wanted to know where my problems were coming from. She kept telling me, somebody took your hair. Whew. Someone took your hair to an altar when you was a baby. This is why. Oh, God help me. This is why you've been going through what you're going through. So I believed her. And though I felt the need to shave my head because I was like, I don't know. I just feel the need to. It could have been God, that area, because I never got an exposure that was from her. All I knew is she was telling me that my hair was taken to an altar when I was a child. And that's how it was messed up. So now I'm hating my mom some more. I'm asking my mom, who did you allow to raise me as a child? Who did you allow to put their hands on me? Who? I was literally going spiritually crazy. The guy who was my ex at the time, we wasn't talking at all. I stopped hanging out with my best friend. And I fell into depression. I was so depressed. I was so down. At the time, I was in NP school as well. Bingo. For some of you that didn't know. I was in NP school and I started losing interest in school. My classmate would be asking me, what's wrong, Becca? We had this assignment to do. Why you didn't do it the best? You didn't do it good. I was late on assignment. The next thing you know, I stopped having the feeling of going to work. And my money started running dry. I became a broke registered nurse. Even though I was in MP school, I'm getting emotional. And sometimes I had to take off work because I had to do some assignments that I was behind on. I became broke. No money. I'm literally trying to put my finances back together right now as I speak. Because of all that was happening to me. Like there was times that I had to wait for a paycheck to do anything. My life used to be so glamorous. I used to have money. I was a traveler, so I had money. All of that boom, gone. And I was becoming broke. Now, I started having dreams in the house. God started showing me dreams. Dreams I couldn't put together. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. It was right under my feet. I had dreams of being in the cemetery. That was my first dream that I had, that I was like, something is not right. But because she told me that my friend bewitched me, because she told me that my friend was the witch, I was like, oh, well, my friend must have left something in this house. That's why I'm having this dream. So I need to move. So I had dreams of me in the cemetery and I couldn't get out. I was looking all around in the dream. I couldn't get out. I had dreams of dogs and cats chasing me. But luckily in the dream, they never bit me, but they was barking at me, chasing me. I had dreams running after something. I was running. I had dreams of me fighting with a lion. Till this day, I remember that dream so powerful. I had dreams fighting with a lion. I had dreams of me eating in a dream. I had a dream of a woman on top of me trying to seduce me. And it just became worse. Now, the things that started happening physically in my house, my fridge went off. My fridge started making this sound. Non-stop. Till I moved out of my apartment, that fridge made that sound the entire time. After my fridge was making that sound, my toilet stopped flushing out of nowhere. It's like God was showing me all the areas that possibility could have caused, possibility that was things that was done to me. After that, I started having sleep paralysis. Like I would be sleeping next to her. I'll feel like someone is trying to take me away. Like someone's trying to pick me up. One time I was sleeping next to her. We were sleeping in the same bed at this point. Sometimes I sleep on my couch. I love sleeping on my couch. And there was one time I slept next to her. I felt like something coming on top of me. And I got up and I screamed and I left. I went to the living room. Still yet, I never thought that it was her. Sometimes she will leave. She will go out of state. She will go do her thing. The time that she will leave, I found myself falling into sin. Like bad sin. Like I found myself falling into things that I should have not been doing at all. So that happened. God started showing me dreams. And I started losing my mind. I lost my mind spiritually for like, I was not happy. I didn't want it to go out. My mom would be calling me to go out, do some things. I didn't want it to go. I hated life at that point. Because she made me have fear that my mother's side of the family was bewitching me. Somebody. So I started trying to, who's the one doing this? I tried to figure everything out myself. I was like, somebody. So I started having fear. Like almost losing my mind. Like paranormal, like looking back, it's like I was having like paranormal activities. Like I was paranoid. I couldn't go out. I stayed in the house. I was so down. But then I had a pastor who is a real true man of God. Oh my God. Shout out to you, Pastor Ubon. I'm not afraid to say his name because he is a great man of God. He's a true man of God. A true man of God. That God made me meet this man of God during the time I needed him the most. I will go to his church every Friday night. I'll be praying. So I told Pastor F or Pastor P, I said, well, I have a church, another church. If it's not my parents' church, I have another strong man of God who also is also is someone that's very spiritual, like I can see. It's like, oh, let's go to his church. We went to his church, but I could tell not all the time she wants to be there. And she mentioned something about him. She was like, oh, he's not a true man of God. He's not a true man of God. There's something off about him. He's also doing something. I was like, oh my God, everybody's doing something but you. So then I started going to this man of God church, and more things started revealing. And God pointed me out to move. So I'm thinking, okay, we're about to move. We're about to move so she can have her own bedroom. I can have my own bedroom. And we about to move. She about to have my own. I'm about to have my own bedroom. She about to have her own bedroom. And right before I'm about to move, me and her got into an argument in the house. I'll tell you what happened next. All right, this is where the story gets very, very interesting. So we got into an argument over something really little. All she did was just ask me to do something. And I told her, relax. Like, you know, just wait. Just wait. I was like, I'll do it, you know, at the time I need to do it. And I just called my mother. I went outside. I called my mom. I kind of vent to my mom. Like, Mom, I'm not happy. You know, like, this lady is kind of rushing me to do a lot of stuff for her. And I'm already, you know, I'm already doing enough. I mean, like, you are living in my house for free. I never asked her for money. I paid all the bills and all of that stuff. So you pretty much took over my bedroom. You sleep there. You don't want to sleep in my bedroom, all of that stuff. So I'm like, relax, you know, like, hold on. So I call my mother. The power of a prayerful mother. Oh, pray for your kids. Pray for your kids. So I call my mother and just vent to her. And after I vented to my mom decided to call her. I promise you guys, my mom didn't yell, scream. All my mom said was, you know, Pastor P, Becca is doing a lot for you. This is America. People don't do what Becca is doing for you. Like, come bring you in America. You living in the house for free. You're not paying no bills. All of that stuff. Like, just relax. Let Becca do it when she feel the need to do it. Don't get too upset about it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Pastor P was furious. Like, she was really mad at the fact that I called my mother. Remember, I told you I didn't have no zeal to talk to my mom no more. Oh, shit, I'm messing up my stuff today. I didn't have no feeling to talk to my mom. Remember, I said that earlier in the story? So it's like Pastor P was like, it almost seemed like she was like, how dare you call your mother? Like, you are not supposed to call your mom. I never saw her that mad. She was like, I don't need you to do anything for me, blah, blah, blah. So Pastor P started being quiet in the house. So I apologized, like everybody. I apologized because at this point, I was like, this lady is a pastor. She's my savior. She's going to rescue me from all this bondage. She prays with me 24/7. So I'm like, you know what? Let me relax a little bit. And she was still quiet in the house. And my spirit felt like, okay, I don't think she wants to be here no more. Like, literally, I got a feeling like she wants to leave my house. And I became sad. I was like, oh my God, why she wants to leave. But really, it was because of, the argument that it was because my mother called her and kind of tell her, relax. It wasn't of anything. She never really wanted like my mom to know anything about what's going on in the house. So that's where, now that I look back, her frustration was coming from. I was trying to make things right. So I told Pastor P, I think I'm going to break my lease. Let's move out of here. Let's go to a 2-bedroom. like a dummy. Let's go to a 2-bedroom. Like, let's go. Like, you have your own place. Because I was trying to have her stay. My spirit didn't want her to leave. But I couldn't deny the fact of how she was feeling. So I was like, let's go look for an apartment. So we went to go look for an apartment. And I put her name on the list. Asked my sister. And we got the apartment. We got approved. We got approved. So before I moved into the apartment to go look, we went to go look at the apartment together. And she was in love with the place. She went to go look at it. And then she went to go pray in front of the apartment. She went to go pray in front of the apartment. And one of her prayers in front of the apartment that she said, she gave me some oil. She said, may this apartment, may your husband, your children, may you have your husband, your children, your family in this home. This place is going to bring you blessings. Everything that you need is going to be here. You don't need to be alone. You need to be with someone. Blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, that's a nice prayer. She prayed in front of the apartment. And literally in 2 weeks, in exactly about 2 weeks, Pastor P said, she's leaving. She's going. Right before I moved into the apartment, she said she's about to leave. She's about to go. So I'm like, knowing me, I was like, what? I got sad. I felt more depressed that she's about to leave. And then I was like, okay, I don't know where you're going. She never told me where she was going. She just said that she knows some people here in America that she also prays for, that she's going to go there. I was like, okay, I'm sad that you're leaving, but, you know, I'm sorry that I couldn't get you everything that you wanted, get you stabilized. She says she's leaving, but she don't know if she'll be back, but she's just going to go. And she's going to go to another pastor's house and stay there. But she's not coming to my place anymore. So I was left with an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment by myself. Remember, I was in NP school at this time, still in NP school. She left me. I was like, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of money before you go. I gave her some money, 1,000. And I was like, okay, you can. I was like, get your life stabilized and you can leave. But remember, she put that oil in front of that apartment and everything. So she left, and I called my mom. My mom, she said goodbye to my mother. She said goodbye to everyone. My mother called me. She said, then I had a dream of a snake, like the same night, the same week, right after she left. I had a dream of a big old snake leaving my car. So I told my mom about the dream. My mom was like, that snake that left your house, that was Pastor P. I was like, how dare you say that? How dare you say that? You can never say that. That lady prayed for me like there's no tomorrow. How dare you say that? You can never say that about her. I even got into an argument with my mom about that. Then now I moved into the apartment. All right, so I'm now in this new apartment. And I'm here by myself. And I decided, I was like, you know what? It's been a while. It's like almost now a year since my relationship was over. I'm like, let me start dating, okay? I've been praying so much. I haven't put myself out there. Let me just start dating. So I started dating. I was talking to this guy, and he was cool. So one day, I invited him over to my apartment. I was like, oh, you know what? Just come over. We can relax. Come watch a movie and relax and whatnot. He came over to the apartment. First of all, on his way to the apartment, he started complaining. He was like, oh my God, you live so far, blah, blah, blah. Well, that was sign number one for me that, okay, like, you're not going to come here no more. But anyways, he then came to the apartment. We went out to eat. Then he came over to relax at the apartment or whatnot. He didn't spend more than 10 minutes at that apartment. He left. All of a sudden, he's like, I don't know, but I gotta go to work tomorrow. I got things to do. I'm leaving. I'm like, okay, that was weird. So one day I was sleeping. And I had a dream, like a vision, but a dream of a woman in my balcony. Like she's like looking at me. And this woman, her face looked demonic. Like literally this dream, this lady looked like a demon herself. She was standing there at the balcony and looking at what I was doing. And she had on long hair, like a marine, like a ocean mermaid looking woman. And I'm like, who is this woman? So to be honest, I thought that girl was my friend that I had kicked out of my apartment, the first apartment. I was like, who is she? Remember, I didn't know anything yet about Pastor P. So me and Pastor P, we kept in touch. She was still doing her prayers with me. She would still do prayers with me and whatnot. And we would still, pray. We'll be in touch. And every week we'll pray, or every other week. So she already moved. I never knew where she went. She moved. She's living with whoever she's living with. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get my life together. At the time, I was in school. So now things started happening in that house. So after that first guy left, I decided, I'm like, you know what, let me tell my ex about this new place. I was like, come see my new place. I was so excited. I get happy about little stuff. Remember, me and my ex, we have this relation. We have a good friendship. Like that one, we have. He's not the type of person that, he doesn't hate me. Okay, like I don't hate him. Despite if we was not together, despite if he had moved on, we didn't hate each other. But yeah, like most people say, your ex should not even been at your house in the first place, anyways. But whatever. We had that relationship where we don't even need to sleep with each other. We're happy, we're laughing, joking. Right? So I decided to let him come over my apartment one day. And later on, the other time that he had came, he fell asleep on my couch. He works a lot. He fell asleep on my couch. And then one thing that he said, he was like, it's like there's someone moving in this apartment. He was like, when you was, because I went outside. He was like, when you was gone, it's like somebody was touching me, was trying to pull me. But then I woke up and I looked and it wasn't anybody. I was like, child. I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on with this apartment. And then a few months passed. One activity that happened in that apartment that struck me was that one day I was just in the house. The Lord told me, do not leave the house today. Like, whatever you do, don't leave the house. I was like, what? I was like, whoa, what? This is scary. I literally knew that was the voice of God. Because my plans got canceled. Oh, child. My plans got canceled, so I'm like, okay, bingo, I'm not going to leave the house. I have a solid reason not to leave the house right now. So I did not leave the house. I decided to order pizza. I didn't even go outside. I was like, let me just order pizza. I decided to order pizza. And there was the pizza guy came to my apartment. He was like, oh my God. I was like, what? He was like, there is a bat, right? A black bat at 3 p.m. in the afternoon that was not there the day before. There's a bat right at your door. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how did a bat get here at this time? And I could remember the Lord told me not to leave my house that day. So later on, I asked a friend of mine, a Nigerian friend of mine, I was like, what is a minute of a bat in front of your house in the afternoon? And he said, and then I also told my pastor about this. He was like, a bat symbolizes death. A bat at your door symbolizes, it's a symbol of death. And I was like, okay, that makes sense why the Lord told me not to leave the house that day. And the exact place where this bat was the exact place that Pastor P had anointed. So I was confused. I was like, how can a bat be here, a black bat, be here in the same area that Pastor P anointed? Like, how is that even possible that a black bat can be in an area where, like, Jesus Christ is probably right there? Okay? Like the Lord or God, the King of Kings is there. I don't understand. That was not Jesus. That was not Jesus. Child, that was not the Lord. That was not the Lord. So, I'm like, okay. I prayed. I called my pastor. My pastor prayed. Now, the real pastor. I told Pastor P about it. She kind of brushed it off her shoulder. She was like, that must have been a human being there. Like, and I can remember now, we never prayed against that bat. I don't think we ever prayed against the bat. She just was dramatic and she was like, oh my God, really? We never prayed against the bat. So more things happened in the house. At this point, I was over the apartment. I didn't even stay in the apartment for a year. I was like, I'm moving again. And this time, I'm moving to a complex where a friend of mine lived there. I was like, I'm moving again. And guess who came to this new apartment? I'll tell you guys the next part. If you guess Pastor P, you're absolutely right. And this apartment is where everything got unfolded. It's where I found out every single thing. It's where I saw things in my new apartment. It's where the Lord exposed who she really was in this new apartment. Talk to you later. The story is almost over. I hope everyone had a great holiday, a great Christmas. I hope you guys are all having a good time with your family. I didn't want to share this story during the holiday time. Like, no, because nobody wants to see anything sad going on or hear any sad stories. But so now I decided that I wanted to move out of the apartment. And there were things that was happening in the apartment that I was just not understanding. So one time in the morning, I woke up and the Lord says, pray over your car. I was like, what's going on? Right in this old apartment, the second apartment that I was staying by myself. Remember, I was still praying with Pastor P. I was still, oh my God, I messed up my face. I was still praying with Pastor P or whatnot. So the Lord said, pray over your car. And literally, I prayed over my car. I literally pulled out my parking space to drive to work. Literally, boom. I crashed my car into someone's car in the parking lot. I was so devastated. I was like, you know what? This was just like sign that maybe I did not move to the right place. Maybe I didn't move. Remember, I wasn't thinking about Pastor P being any false prophet at the time. Every little thing that would happen bad, I would call her. She was my go-to. Like, I would call her. At this time, I wasn't even talking to my mom like that. I would call her. So the next thing that happened was my friend came over my house. He was like, let's go out. He was like, let's just go out. Let's go, just go out. I'm like, okay. We went out or whatnot, and we went out. Of course, I was drinking. I've been the time of my life. I was like, I'm a child. I've been in the house praying. Let me live a little bit. That's literally what I was telling myself. Like a dummy. I was like, let me live a little bit. I went out, having the time of my life. And literally, as soon as I was out in the lounge with my friend, I could hear something. I thought I was tripping. I could hear something saying, you're about to die. Like, you're about to die. It's like, I'm about to die. I thought I was hearing. I was like, okay, maybe it's the alcohol. Maybe I'm tripping. I was like, maybe it's the alcohol. Maybe I'm tripping. And as soon as I went, I'm rushing to do my makeup because I don't have time. As soon as I went outside in the car, within 5 minutes with my friend, I got into an accident. I got into a bad accident. His car was total. His car was like done. His car was gone. My face, boom, swollen. My ears cut in half, like split open. I still have the stitches of it. It was the worst pain in my life. The same day I got into a car accident, the same day a family member of mine passed away. But I didn't die. So when I went to church that following, like 2 weeks later, one of the things that the real pastor now told me was that you were supposed to die that night. Says you was gonna die. They planned for you to die. And because you had a friend in that car with you, you got saved. And this person helped save your life because it was such a random outing. It was a random outing. He was just like, let's go, let's get out, let's go out. So I'm just like, what is going on? I didn't share that with him because I didn't, to like later on what I was hearing, because I was like, I don't know, he probably gonna think I'm a witch. Like, and he probably gonna be afraid to come around me. But they didn't have legal rights to take him. But their goal was for me to die. And so I'm like, got into the accident. I was depressed, and I'm like, okay, it's time for me to move. These accidents are just getting out of hand. I'm praying, I'm fasting, I'm doing everything. I'm still not in no relationship with nobody. I'm not even dating anymore because I would date, and literally this time it was even worse. I don't know what's happening. But I would have dreams of like things chasing me still. I was like, what's going on? I thought Pastor P just prayed for me. I thought Pastor P did everything right that she's supposed to do. I thought I'm set free. At this time, I was running out of options. I was running out of options of like, why is this happening to me? No one in my family knew what was happening. None of my friends really did. My friends knew about the accident, but they didn't know what was going on. Like, my friends knew I was depressed. They my best friend knew I was going through stuff, but not to the extent that I was going through it. I need to buy a darker foundation, seriously. So that happened, and now I decided to move. When I decided to move, I got this nice, beautiful apartment. I decided to move next to, in the same complex as my friend, a girl, a woman that's a woman's friend, not a man. I decided to move next to her. I loved the building, fell in love with the building, and I called Pastor P. I was like, Pastor P, I'm moving out of this apartment. You never came. This was supposed to be for me and you, but you prayed. I'm moving out. And Pastor P wasn't happy. She was like, oh, that's good. That's good. I told you was going to move. So I moved to this new apartment. Everything was going well. Everything was going great. My friends was around. I was starting to feel better. Even my ex helped me move. He was being extremely kind, nice to me. And I called Pastor P and confirmed everything that's going on. That is when she started creating a group with me and some girls. And she was praying for us, talking about she needs to pray for our relationship, our marriages, our kids. And that's when things started getting interesting. Okay, so the story is getting to an end. It's almost finished. Good morning, everybody. So now I'm moving to this beautiful new apartment that I'm actually currently in right now. Funny thing is, everything was going great in the beginning of the year. When I moved into this new place, everything was going smooth. My friends was around. My ex was around. Like, being around, meaning he was in the good terms. Everything was going great. So I thought. It seems like every time my ex would come around and things were going smooth, now that I look back, that's when I'll get attacked. Like, I'll get attacked. Pastor P will come around. Pastor P will be saying all type of stuff. One thing she would love to say was, he doesn't love you. Why are you still talking to him? He doesn't love you. You should move on. I was like, we're not in a relationship. Like, what are you talking about? But it's like, now that I look back, it's like she envied the fact that he would do something. He would do things for me. But every time I would explain stuff like this to Pastor P, I was like, I don't know what's going on between me and him. But he's around. He's being nice. Well, we're spending time with each other here and there. I noticed that she would, like, few days later, few months later, we would start arguing and things would just fall apart. And we was not even together. Like, who argues with their ex? I just don't understand. Who argues with their ex? when we're supposed to just be good friends. Now that I look back, it seems like her goal was to come and destroy the relationship between me and him. We was already not together. So what else could you possibly destroy when the relationship was already destroyed? But it's like every time I would tell her stuff, I would notice things happen later. Now looking back, I seen it. And then and when I tell her, oh my gosh, things are bad again. He's like, we're fighting like crazy. She would get, I don't know if she would get excited. She would be like, oh my God, really? Wow. We need to pray. We need to pray. We need to pray. I was like, but you were literally telling me this man don't love me. Why are we praying and what are we praying for? You say you're somebody that can see in the spiritual realm and you're seeing that he doesn't love me. So what are we praying for? So she built this group, this woman group, and we'll be praying in this woman group, blah, blah, blah. Everybody talking about their relationship in this woman group. Nobody ever called this woman group and said, I have a testimony. Things are going well for me. Nobody. No, nothing will be going well. So now it was time for me to take my board exam. And of course, again, I studied for this board exam like there was no tomorrow. I had no days off. I called Pastor P. I was like, I'm about to take my board exam. Let's pray. I'm taking it the next day. I didn't even tell my mother about this, but I told Pastor P about this. And she was like, yes, we need to pray. You're going to pass. You're going to pass. I felt like I was going to pass because I studied my butt off. Like, I didn't even study for NCLEX, like how much I studied for this board exam. Like, my NP exam, I studied so hard for it. I called her. We're praying. The day that I called her, before I even called her, I got an attack that day in my home. I got an attack. I got into an argument with my ex. Then I got an attack. Like, I started feeling depressed in my house. Like, things started feeling weird, the atmosphere. So, of course, I called her. I told her about the attack. She was like, there's a dog in your house. Blah, blah, blah. There's this in your house. At this time, me and my ex fell apart again. Once again, for like 100 times. We always used to fight, child. She was like, there was a dog in your house. Blah, blah, blah. But you're going to pass your test the next day. I went to take my exam. I did not run out of time. The computer went off for me. I checked my result. I failed by 3 questions. I was devastated. I was like, how did I fail this exam when Pastor P told me that I was going to pass? Pastor P told me I was going to pass. So I called Pastor P. I was like, I failed my exam. I'm devastated because I studied hard and I took off days from work. So now I'm broke and I failed. She was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I really saw that you was going to pass. After that incident, she called the group. We was praying. She was like, Rebecca, everything is going wrong in your life right now. Everything is about to go wrong. The enemy is attacking you in every area. That same week, I almost got into a car accident again. I was fighting with my mother. I was fighting with everybody. And Pastor P's like, I need you to put your name down of you and your mother's name in a paper. And the fight between me and my mom even became worse when she told me to do that. Like, I couldn't see eye to eye. Like, the fight would be so bad. My mom would be crying. I would be crying. I was like, why can't you listen to what I'm telling you? And it was so bad. I didn't know where this fight was coming from. And everything at that time, I became even more broke. No money because I studied for my board exam. So I didn't work. And then I failed. So I became more broke. Wasn't working. More sad. More depressed. Wasn't talking to anybody yet again. But Pastor P was in my life. And she was acting as if she was my savior. That everything was going to run smooth. That she was going to pray for me. That I'm going to pass my exam the next time. She said, she was like, you know what? You're going to pass your exam. Next time, don't even tell me that you're going to take it. Don't tell no one. Just go and take the exam. I was like, yeah, right. Okay. I I started studying for my board exam, like 2 weeks later. Again, I was like, I'm not someone that failed. I've never in my life failed a board exam. Never. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm actually smart. And I never failed anything in my life. So after I failed that exam, I started studying, trying to get myself together. Things became worse. The Lord told me I need to go on 3 months of covenant with him. And I need to fast and I need to pray. I'll tell you what happened next. Good morning, beautiful people. Let's try to finish this story. I want you guys to know, ever since I started talking about this story, I have been actually getting attacks. So I've been getting attacks here and there. I found out where this person came from. But nevertheless, the Lord told me that I must talk about this. And this story will encourage somebody out there, because I'm not the only one that may be going through this. There are other people that are going through situations like this, and they don't know to use their power that they have in the Lord. So I'm not going to stop making this story unless God himself come and strike me down. But one thing about me, I listen to God more than people. And sometimes when you need to do something for God, people are not going to be pleased by you. But as long as I'm pleasing the Holy One, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, God, that's all that matters, honey. If you don't like what I'm talking about, or you have a problem with what I'm talking about, take it to him. Because this is my life. This is what happened to me. This is my life. And I don't know why people have problems with me talking about my life and what happened to the kingdom of darkness in my life. So let's finish this story, because there's a plot twist at the very end that I found out, and I'm extremely shocked. But hey, you can't be shocked at what the enemy can do. Nothing is too shocking nowadays. The enemy can do anything to destroy the lives of believers. All right, now the Lord told me to go on fasting and prayer. So of course, you know, I told Pastor P that I want to go on fasting and prayer. Like a fool. Like at this point, I still was not seeing signs. And before I went on fasting and prayer, remember I told you Pastor P created a group for us ladies in the group. And one of the things that she always do in the group is tell us to send her our names. Tell us to write our names down in papers, write our name down with people that, you know, that are in our lives. Write down those papers. And later on, when the Lord exposed her to me, the Lord told me that us writing down our names or writing down people's names was a way of her to get access to us, a way of her to get access. We're giving her an agreement like, hey, go ahead and do whatever you want to do with our lives. Because your name is your signature. Basically, you are signing a contract in the kingdom of darkness for her to have access to you, for her to manipulate your life. So whatever you want to, whatever you want to do, that is her way of having access to you. So that is what the Lord told me about us writing our names. One day in the group, she prophesied to me that I was going to get sick. She was like, oh, you're going to get fever, but don't worry, don't take no medication. Your fever is a way of your deliverance. You're being delivered from something. So that is why you're going to get a fever. So like a big fool that I was like, okay. But remember, the Lord had told me already that I needed to go on fasting and prayer. Like I needed to do Esther fasting and prayer. And those of you that know me, those of you that know me know that I love food. Oh my goodness. If there's any man out there that wants to talk to me, just take me on a date. I promise you. You don't even have to ask twice. I am there. Take me on a date to a nice fancy restaurant to eat. Anyways, I love to eat. And this was hard for me to do. I'm like, God, 3 days, no food. I'm like, okay. So the moment I declare that I was about to go on that fasting and prayer, I fell sick. I think I'm going to post the picture of the I have never had a fever in my life with that temperature. it was like the biggest. I was like, what is going on? It was not COVID, nothing. All I was getting was fever. The 3 days that I said I was going to do the Esther fasting, those 3 days I had fever of an unknown origin. I don't know where it was coming from, but I was determined. I was like, I don't know what God is trying to tell me, but I'm going to go on this fasting and prayer anyways. I went on the fasting and prayer, and then I was calling Pastor P. I sent her the picture. I was like, oh my God, this must be my deliverance. Something good is about to happen. I'm fasting, but then I have a fever. So I couldn't eat, but I had to take some medication because I am a nurse, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get septic shock here by myself, taking care of myself. Thank God for the person who was living next to me in my apartment. She was checking up on me every day. She's also someone that's a nurse. So she was checking up on me, but I had to take that Tylenol. She was like, look, you got to take something. I know you're fasting, but you got to take something. So I sacrificed. I made the fast. I prayed to God. But I didn't really get an answer like that because I was praying with Pastor P. It almost seemed like I should have just not prayed with nobody at all. Like I should have never really prayed with anyone. I should have just kept it to myself and just prayed. But I was indeed, again, calling Pastor P. So I prayed with Pastor P, and she was like, it's your deliverance, blah, blah, blah. And then a few days later, my pastor, the great and mighty real pastor now, called me and said, oh, I'm coming to your complex. I'm coming to come pray for your friend. So I'll come by to yours as well. The real pastor, I'm going to call him Pastor U. I already said his name, but I'm going to call him Pastor U. Pastor U now said, I'm coming. Pastor U now came to my house. And the first thing that Pastor U said, he was praying. Pastor U said, there's someone that's going to come to this house. This person is not coming with a good intention. Oh, oh my God. That could have been that could have literally been the first red flag. But of course, my dumb self didn't even look at it that way. I didn't even have too many people in my house. The only person that was coming to my house was my mother, my father, my brother. At this point, my ex was not even coming to my house anymore. So it was not even him. I didn't think of anybody that could be, potentially is about to come to my house. That is not of God. Literally a month later, Pastor P called. And Pastor P said, I want a job close to your place. I want a good job because, he was a CNA before, so you know how things are. I was like, I got you, girl. Don't worry. So my other job, my manager was looking for a CNA and asked everybody, I can't find someone. Do anybody know a CNA? So I was like, oh, I know somebody. I questioned the Lord, and I asked the Lord, do you want me to bring Pastor P here? That was another red flag. You see how God was working? Sometimes God answers our prayers without us even realizing. Without us realizing that he's answering our prayers. He may not answer it with words, but he can answer it with action. The Lord is I was like, oh God, for the first time in history, I asked God about Pastor P. I don't know how. I was just driving on my way, and I was like, God, do you want me to bring Pastor P to this job? I just randomly said it. You guys, I don't know how months, days, weeks passed. I never remembered that I needed to submit her application. I needed her to do the application. I don't know how it happened. It just happened. I forgot. She had sent me all her information. She was so excited. But for some reason, I forgot. I missed the deadline. I was like, I remember asking God, do I want Pastor P to come to this job? And God did not answer me. And God made me forget about the application. Just like that, I forgot. Sign number 100 at this point. The next thing you know, she went behind my back. Now, she also knew about this friend that I had that was living in my complex. My damn fool, I was like literally telling everybody about this pastor. So she went behind my back and she asked my friend if my friend can do an application for her. And knowing my friend, she's a sweet girl, she did the application without telling me. So few days later, Pastor P now called me and said she got an interview to a job close to my current house. I wasn't thinking about her. And that is when I was like, sure, okay, come to my house. I'll pick you up and you will come to my house. I'll let you guys know what happened next when she was in my house. Good morning, beautiful people. Let's get to the good part. This is the part that I actually have been waiting for you guys to hear. And I'm not gonna do a full-blown makeup this morning. I'm not a makeup artist, okay? So don't judge me. I'm gonna do a quick little eyebrow touch here and there and call it a day. So me and my friend, remember I told you my friend lived in the same complex as me. So we both went to go pick up Pastor P. But here's the sign. The moment I declared that I was gonna go pick up Pastor P, my car started driving funny. My car started like driving weird. So Pastor P came back. I went to go pick up Pastor P. Remember, I had already finished that fast. I had already finished some prayers, but this was like months before. So I picked up Pastor P. I was excited to see her because at this point, even though I haven't seen her for like almost a year, because remember she had left. I went to pick up Pastor P. The moment I picked up Pastor P, she started prophesying. Okay. I picked her up, bought her some food, welcomed her into my home. She loved my place. She was praising it so much, how good I decorated it, blah, blah, blah. She went to the kitchen and started cooking. But before she started cooking, there's some things that she did in my house that this time around, my eyes have been open more and I'm more aware of things. And she didn't know that. God has been like literally working through me. When she came to my house, the first thing that she did was she started praying, but she was chanting. I was not even aware that I couldn't hear what she was saying. She started praying. She grabbed some water from her mouth. Oh God, how could I be so dumb, you guys? She got some water from her mouth, put it in her hand and spit it out and threw all that water away, started spraying that water around my house. Like, on most of them, the way she was throwing the water was on the mirrors of my house. And before, back then, I probably had seen her pray before, blah, blah, blah. But this time, my eyes were open. In my head, I was just like, my friend saw that too. I was like, oh, don't mind her. She's just praying. This is what she does. She prays. Oh, God. Oh, Rebecca, how could you be so dumb, Rebecca? She sprayed in the house. Then after that, she insisted that she needed to shower and that I must give her a underclothing. So I had some new stuff that I never wear, so I gave that to her. Stupid. She insisted she needed to shower in my house and that she needed to scrub her foot. Y'all pay attention because all of these things that I'm telling you is part of her rituals to do her things that she needs to do. So she showered, she scrubbed her feet. I was like, I don't have anything. She's like, I don't have nothing for you to scrub your feet. She was like, no, she must scrub her feet. She needs to scrub her feet. Oh, God. You know, now that I think about it, when I'm saying this story, I'm pissing myself off. Like, I'm making myself angry because I couldn't be this naive. There was no way I was this naive and not seeing all of these things that this lady was doing in my home. my beautiful home. So after she scrubbed her feet, she sprayed the house. She sprayed around the house. And when after she sprayed around the house, she did her little chanting. I did not hear her. That's the thing that I'm saying. I couldn't, now that I look back, this was prayers that she was always doing sometimes, that I couldn't hear what she was saying. It wasn't, oh God, now that I'm in this home, may you bless this home with things. It was, I didn't hear what she was saying. She was just spraying water. I'm thinking she was bringing blessing in my house, but that is a way that they do their rituals. And she had got so comfortable with me that I accepted it. I didn't know what she was doing. Right after she sprayed the house, she started cooking. I told y'all, if you guys want to bewitch me or do anything, just cook for me. I don't know what is it about me and food. I love to eat. And I know that people have probably bewitched me through food because I don't even be praying, God bless this food before I eat. I just, what? I'm a foodie. Why, when she was in the kitchen cooking for me, the first thing that she said, she started prophesying. I'm sitting down, minding my business. My friend is also here because she wanted to meet her. The thing that she said was, Rebecca, your ex is in a relationship. He doesn't want you. He doesn't love you. Again, why is it such a big thing? Why is this something that you keep telling me? What was your motives? As soon as she came, this was her main thing. And here I am. I already started getting angry. I sent a message to my ex. I was like, look, if you're in a relationship, you could have told me, don't be in a relationship. Like, I started getting angry. I'm like, but why am I even getting angry? We're not even together. But why was this? I want you guys to pay attention to this part because there's a plot twist to the end. Why this was such a big thing for her. She said what she said. I was already like upset. I'm like, okay, because my ex told me, oh, he's not dealing with no other woman right now. So I believe him. But because she called herself a prophet, a pastor. Of course, I'm like, oh, damn. I told my ex, like, I mean, you don't have to lie to me. You can be in a relationship. I don't care. Just let me know if you're in a relationship so I can give you guys that space. So I won't text you if I need something. And your girlfriend won't be like, why are you still talking to your ex? He sent a message back just laughing. He just started laughing. And then in his mind, he's like, okay, Pastor P must be around because these are things that Pastor P has done in the past before where she will call me, she will call him, she will tell me, oh, he's in a relationship, blah, blah, blah. You need to either leave him alone, like just stuff like that. The next day, I needed to go to work because the next day was her interview. I took her to her interview. But the night she woke up between the hours of 12 a.m. to 3, she woke up chanting, praying, and she needs to drink water. She has a bottle that she asked me for water. I gave her a water from my cup in my house. I realized I woke up in the morning, she didn't drink from that cup. She wanted water, fresh water outside. She didn't drink from my cup. I was like, I wonder why she didn't drink from my cup. After she didn't drink from my cup, I was like, okay. She tends to have this thing in the morning where she won't speak until she do her chanting. Because I don't call it prayer, I call it chanting. After that, the next day I took her to an interview. Her interview went well. She came home. She cooked for me. But this time around, the food did not taste as pleasant as it usually did back when she had first came to me. It didn't taste as good. But anyway, it was okay. So I ate the food, didn't ask God for protection, didn't ask God for nothing. Her and my friend, we all ate the food. Now, the next day, following day after the interview, I needed to go to work. So I left her in my home. When I came back from my house, I saw a black stain of dust on my carpet. I asked Pastor P, what is this? I asked my friend, I'm like, I left my house this morning. I didn't see this. What is this in my home? Pastor P was silent. I don't think Pastor P expected me to see that dust. She just got busy doing other things. I started suspecting, was when I started suspecting something was off. Just imagine all this time I should have suspected something was off. But this was my first suspicious. I will tell you what happened next after the dust on my carpet. Good morning, beautiful people, or good evening, whatever time you're watching this from. So, I came back home. I saw this black stain in my carpet. I told Pastor P about it. Pastor P was a little bit like, oh, I don't know. She just opened her eyes, like, and she didn't really say anything. But you was the one in my house. I didn't understand how she would have expected me not to see that. I literally have a beige carpet. I had a beige carpet. How did you expect to do whatever you was doing? Unless whatever she was doing fell on the floor. Whatever black dust she was putting in the air fell on the floor. But it was stained. And I couldn't take this stain out with bleach. The next day, again, she was here for about 3 days. The next day, again, I had to go to work. And because I had to go to work, I had to go to work without a car. Of course, I had to leave her in my house while I went to work, came back from work, and do my thing. That very first day, my car went in the shop. Right away, my car went in the shop, and I had to pay about $1,500 to fix my car. So money just went out of my hand just like that. I already was not even having money like that to be spending on unnecessary issues. Only suspicious that was happening was the fact that I was still at the black stain. I didn't get over that black stain because my house, the way I kept it, I wanted the way I love the way I decorate my house. So I wasn't over that black stain. I was just like, where is this thing came from? I asked my friend who was also here with her. My friend was like, I don't know what that black stain was. So she didn't know either. So I was like, okay. And I was like a little bit pissed off about it, but I got over it. Pick up my car, but I came back home. Now I came back home. She left early the next day in the morning. She left. I was just like, okay, I will see you soon. She said she would come back. If there's another interview, she would just keep coming back to, until she get a job. I was like, oh, sure, my place is open to you anytime. As soon as she came back, as soon as she left, within days, not even weeks, within days, I started fighting with people. My house felt unclean. Physically, my house was clean. But something was just, like, my atmosphere of my home didn't feel right. I started fighting with people left and right. And while I was fighting, I called her. She was like, oh my God, really? I fought with my mom. Of course, me and my ex always fight. But this time we fought again because I had sent him that message about him being with another person, if that was the case. I was fighting with everybody. Every single person. I was so mad. I was so unhappy. I was so angry. I was just fighting with people. And then I was like, something don't feel right about me. Something is off about me. I'm fighting with everyone. Why? I want you guys to pay attention to this part. Why am I fighting with everybody? I even fought my other pastor. My other pastor was even mad. I was even mad at my other pastor. Like, what? Like, oh my God. It was so bad. It was literally so bad how I was fighting with people. I was just like, what in the world? Oh man, I didn't put nothing under my face. I was like, what in the world is going on? Why am I fighting with everybody? After I fought with people, of course, you fight with people, they're going to distance themselves from you. But what actually made it very crazy suspicious, we was on the prayer line. Well, I was in the prayer line with her after she had left one day, and she mentioned something about my best friend. I've been best friend with my friend for about over 15 years. Me and my best friend, she's Asian. Everybody knows my best friend. I've been best friend with her for over 15 years. And here comes Pastor P. She was like, you shouldn't trust your best friend. Your best friend is doing something against you. Just be careful with your best friend. I wish she didn't say that, because I felt like she was kind of losing. She was running out of prophecies to make against me, because at this point now, you don't talk about my mother, that my mom, in order for me to settle down, she was like, in order for you to get married, somebody in your family must die. You talked about my mother. You talked about my family. You told me my ex didn't love me. You told me that. Now you're telling me now that my best friend is doing something against me. So who am I supposed to have? At this point, I'm like, who am I supposed to be friends with? Am I just supposed to live my life paranoid and not talk to anybody? Fuck everyone. At this point, I was so hurt. I was so miserable. I was like, why am I arguing with every single person around me? After that transpired, after I fought with everyone, I fought with my friend that lived in the same complex as me. She and I just had a big argument. And I'm just like, hold up. Me and this girl, we never fight. Like, we'll say stuff here and there. We get attitude, but I really like her as a friend. Like, me and her don't fight. Me and my best friend, we don't fight like that either. Like, we argue. We do little sumo attitudes here and there, but we don't fight. So why am I fighting with this girl? Like, I'm like, okay, something is not right. At this point, I was isolated again in like the beginning of how, when she had initially came to my house, I was isolated again. But still yet, I didn't really put two and two together, because I wouldn't believe that she was a part of the reason what I was going through. I couldn't believe that. I was like, nah, it's not possible. So I didn't think that way. So I'm at work. I don't have no money. I'm now broke. I don't have no money. Before she came to my house, like literally, I passed my, I don't know if I said this on the story. I passed my exam. I think I probably talked about it. And I think I said it. And that is when, like, few weeks later, she came to my house, right after I passed my exam. And she was shocked that I passed. I felt the same way how I felt when she had first initially came to my house and left. And I was miserable. I was depressed. I was like, not this feeling again. So I didn't have no money, because now I had already passed my exam and I wasn't working when I was studying for my boards. So I need to like catch up to work and make money so I can catch up with bills and things like that. And then literally, I have already scheduled myself to work 3 days. No, 5 days back to back. The Lord said, I need you to cancel your shift. At this point, I was like, oh no, this ain't the Lord. I was like, the devil, you can't get me. I was like, this cannot be the Lord. The Lord is not going to make me not have no money. The Lord said, I need you to go back on 3 days of fasting. Esther fasting. Now, you know Esther fasting is not easy, okay? But that fasting can break chains. I was like, oh God, please. What? Like, at this, I felt like I needed to anyway. I was fighting with everybody. Something just didn't feel right in my house. I was starting to go back into sadness, depression, all of that. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to fast. I'm going to pray. As soon as I said I'm going to fast and I'm going to pray, here comes Pastor P. She was like, oh my God, they sent me an interview again. This is the second interview. I'm going to come back to your house. But the Lord had said, this time, I need you to fast. So I started the fast. This is what Pastor P did. This is how everything got exploded. I'll tell you the last part. Stay tuned. Bye. Good morning, beautiful people, and happy Sunday. What a way to end the story than to end it on a beautiful Sunday. So your faith in God can be strengthened, for you to believe that no weapon formed against your life will ever prosper. As long as you're a child of God, as long as you are doing what you need to do, nothing in this world can stop God. He's the King of Kings. He's the Lord of Lords. He's the El Shaddai. He's the Prince of Peace. He's the one who is and is to come. Okay? Now, she called me that she was coming back. This was 2 weeks apart. Now this 2 weeks apart, I was already, I was fighting with people. So I was like, okay, I'm going to fast. Even though I'm fighting with people, I'm going to fast because I don't know where this anger, rage is coming from. Like, I just don't know where this is coming from. So even though I didn't want it to fast and pray, and the Lord had told me to go on fasting and prayer, I obeyed the Lord. I thought I was going on fasting and prayer for me to just stop fighting with people because it was really bad. I was like, why am I so angry? Like, I was so angry. But little did I know, I was fasting and prayer. I was going on fasting for the Lord to open my eyes to expose the hidden truth of what has been happening. Before day one of my Esther fast, my friend called me that she was coming back. So me and my friend that lived in my complex, we was already arguing. So the argument became worse. I was like, why you didn't tell me that you are bringing this person here? Why didn't you tell me that you keep applying for her to come to interview for her? Like, why you didn't tell me? And we made it a big deal. She was angry at me. She was like, I can do whatever I want to do to help somebody out. I was like, okay. I just felt like you should have told me that, that you're going to apply for jobs out here. Because at the end of the day, she knows I introduced you to her. So she knows me more. So I know that she will come to my house. So we got into an argument about that. Day one of my fasting, she kept calling me. She kept calling me. She was like, how you doing? What's going on? I was like, oh, nothing. I'm, about to do an Esther fast. I'm in an Esther fast again. Because of, I feel like a lot's been going on. I'm fighting with everybody. I just want to know what's going on. And I just want to stop fighting with people. I'm already weak and tired. And she was like, oh, okay, well, if you need us to pray, we can pray. Just call me and pray. Then the Lord told me to start clearing my house. After, I didn't pray with her the first time she called. For some reason, I didn't have the zeal to pray with her. I didn't pray with her. Then she called me again in the afternoon. I was like, why she keeps calling me? Like, this is unusual. She keeps calling me. She was like, I just feel like we should pray. You're doing the Esther fasting. Let's just pray, She was like, let's just pray. I was like, okay. I never say no to prayer, so we prayed. She gave me a prophecy about finances, why my finances have been bad or why I've been struggling in my finances. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Sounds accurate. I've definitely been struggling. Me that used to make good money, definitely struggling. So I prayed with her. That was the last time I prayed with her. And that was only day one. So she kept calling me. She was like, okay, I'm coming at this time. I'm coming so-and-so date. I'm coming there so-and-so date. And, I'm going to stay with your house. I was like, okay, sure. I'll pick you up. I'm already on Esther fasting. The next day, my day 2 of my Esther fasting, the Lord told me to clear my house. Clear all the oil that she gave me, that another pastor, just clear everything. Just because I had olive oil, anointed oil in my house. The Lord said, just throw everything away. Good pastor, bad pastor, everything. And I was like, I don't know what God was doing. But I just threw that oil away. I just threw all the oils away. And then after I did that, I started having a feeling of not wanting her to come back. I had no idea what these feelings came from. I became angry in my spirit that 1, my friend did this behind my back, and 2, that she was coming back. She had just came, and now she's coming back. I was like, why is she coming back? I became angry in my spirit. So I called my friend. I was like, I don't know why I feel this way, but I don't want her to come back to my house. So I started going back and forth with the Lord. I said, Lord, what's going on? I was like, this is a woman of God. Why do I feel in my spirit I don't want her to come back? I'm already fasting. I haven't eaten. My body is weak. All I could feel was I don't want her back in my house. I was so angry in my spirit. I became like, I was like, God, is something wrong with me? I was like, you telling me to fast, but all I keep feeling was, I don't want her back in my house. She called me. She said she set up the date for the interview. I was like, okay. At this time, I wasn't telling her I don't want her to come back. But I called my friend. I told my friend, I don't want her to come back. I don't know why I feel this way. I made an argument with my friend. I was like, I don't, for some reason, I don't feel like you should apply for her. You should have told me first. I became angry in the spirit. I was, and I called, I was like, I just got into an argument with my friend that lives in a complex of me. I called Pastor P. I was like, Pastor P, I just got into an argument. Pastor P was like, you're doing Esther fasting and you're arguing with someone? I'm like, no, I'm not arguing. I just feel like something feels off. She was like, you know, you shouldn't be fasting. Do you know what Esther fasting does? Blah, blah. You shouldn't be fasting. It almost felt like my fasting was about to get messed up. Then my friend called me back. She was like, my friend called me back. We was going back and forth, but I don't want her back. My friend called her. Now, she was about to come back the very next day. Like 3 days before she was about to come back was the 3 days I was on Esther fasted. She was about to come back the very first day. She was about to come back. Right when my friend called me, my friend called her, they talked, whatever conversation they had about me, I don't know. I don't give a damn. I didn't give a damn. I didn't give a damn. I just felt like I didn't want her back. This had never happened. I was someone that would bow down to this lady. Out of nowhere, while fasting, I was like, I don't want her back in my house. I don't want her near me. It was like a spirit came inside of me of like, I was like, God. And then I was going back and forth. I was like, God, is this from you? I was like, God, is this from you? Talk to me. Please, why do I feel like this? I'm fasting. I'm praying. Why do I feel like I don't want her back? And all I was praying for while fasting was every demonic forces, every witchcraft spirits, every principalities, every rulers of darkness. Those were my prayers. And then I was hating. I started disliking. I didn't want her back in my house. She called my friend. They had a conversation. She called me yelling at me. She was like, I don't need nobody to take care of me. I'm not coming to your place. I'm not coming to your place. I don't need no one to take care of me. When she hung up the phone, I went on my knees and started thanking God. I didn't know what was going on. I went on my knees and started praising the Lord. Why, when I went on my knees and started praising the Lord, I called my friend. I was like, what conversation did you guys have? Because out of nowhere, Pastor P called me yelling at me, screaming at me that she's not coming to my house and I'm supposed to pick her up the next day. My friend now was already mad at me because she thought I was being a little biatch because I didn't want it. She had already developed a relationship with Pastor P. So she believed in Pastor P. She liked Pastor P. I was like, ooh. She liked the Pastor P the way that I used to like her. I was like, okay. But Pastor P now have access to my ex. Pastor P knows my ex. I hope you guys are catching up with the story and seeing where things are going. So my friend now called my ex and told her what's going on, the situation that's happening, what's going on about her coming or whatnot. But what people don't know is that even if you go and talk bad to me about my ex knows me. He knows me. He knows what Becca is capable of doing. He knows what Becca will do. He knows what Becca will not do. He knows my ins and out. He knows when I'm crazy, acting out. He knows me. So he's like, you don't want to fight with Becca. I don't think Becca is a bad person. I don't know why, but Becca's not a bad person. I called my ex. I was like, I need to talk to you as soon as possible. He didn't answer the phone. He was like, okay. Not knowing that they was already planning, my ex and my friend and Pastor P, because they all know each other. My ex and my friend, they know each other very well. Okay, so they know each other before I know my ex, so it wasn't a coincidence. So don't be like, why you get your friend calling your ex? All right, they know each other very well. Told my ex the situation. My ex is like, okay, well, they're coming. Her and and Pastor P, they're going to come stay with me. I don't feel comfortable staying with Pastor P. I'm a man in the house by myself, so she's going to come stay with her in my place. I went on my knees. I was like, God, I don't know what's going on. God, I don't know what you're doing. But Lord, if you do not want her here, even in my ex house, if you do not want her there, my God, uproot, destroy, do something that she will not come. God, I don't know what you're doing. But Lord, if you do not want her here, even in my ex house, if you do not want her there, my God, uproot, destroy, do something that she will not come. I left it alone. The very next day, I went to work, mind my business. I was supposed to go pick her up, but she was already mad at me. She didn't want me to pick her up. She said I was done. She was done with me. I was up. My ex called me. My ex is like, Pastor P forgot. Pastor P forgot her ID, passport at home. So she missed her flight. And she was going back home to go get her ID, and she just decided that she wasn't coming anymore. I was like, oh, wow, really? Okay. I said, God, what did you just do? I said, God, talk to me. What's going on? That very same day after I had a conversation with my ex, I went to sleep. I fell asleep on my couch. The Lord woke me up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I knew it was the Lord waking me up. He said, pray. I started praying. Oof, yo, I'm getting, Jesus, I'm getting chills just talking about this story. I started praying. The Lord said, go to your room, your office, open the Bible, your old Bible, take out the paper that's in there. Yo, at this point, I'm like, I'm becoming a psych patient. Okay? At this point, I'm like, am I a psych patient? The voice was so clear. The direction was so clear. I was like, I went there, opened the book. I screamed of what I saw that I wrote down. I had my name down and the name of my ex there. That paper has been there for over 3 years. And the Lord said, every time you wrote your name down with anyone's name, that is her access. That you was giving her access to come and fight against you. She said, I need you to burn this paper. Then the Lord said, go on this other side. Open that paper. And the paper was me and my mother's name. I hope you guys have been watching the story from the beginning, because I said that she would tell me to write my names down. The Lord said, every time you wrote your mother's name down, the moment you wrote your name down with your mother's name, she was causing arguments against you and your mother. So every person of your name, that's why I kept fighting with my mother. I kept fighting with my ex. I was fighting with them so much. I was like, I was fighting. I was like, oh my God. The Lord said, Pastor P is not under me. Oh, Becca, don't cry. Oh my God. The Lord said, Pastor P is not under me. Oh my God. The Lord said, Pastor P is not under me. The Lord said, Pastor P is an agent of the devil. She's working to destroy your life. Oh. I fell on the floor. I said, God, no. I said, God, no, it's a lie. I said, Jesus, it's a lie. I said, God, no. Oh my God. I said, God, no, please. Please. I said, God, no, why? No. I had her in my house. I gave her access to everything. I said, how could she be the person that was after my problem? That was because of her. I was going through all this situation in my life. I said, God, no. I said, God, please, no. It can't be. I trusted her. I gave her everything. I gave her everything. I gave her my last. I said, God, no, this is not true. I messed up my makeup. Damn, I didn't know I was going to cry. Because just going back, thinking about the pain, I said, God, no. I said, I gave this lady everything. She had access to everything. My clothes, my belongings, food, everything. I paid for everything. I said, God, how was my eyes closed? The Lord said, I'm going to restore everything back to you. I started praying. I thought it was over. Damn, messed up my makeup. Oh, God. I thought it was over. Oh, God, I messed up my makeup. Please don't cry no more. I should not say this story while I'm doing my makeup. I gotta go. Then, I called my mother. My mother yelled. She was like, praise be to God, I've been praying for you, my daughter. She said, my daughter, you was gone. She said, I've been praying for you at night. I've been walking around praying for God to open your eyes. I knew who this lady was. That's why she was against me. But you were so much in deep. You were so much into it that you didn't believe me. You didn't see me. You didn't want her to see. You loved her. You believed everything she said. I was praying for you, my daughter. I explained everything to my mom. And it didn't stop there. Now, for some reason, I decided to host Thanksgiving in my home. I decided to host Thanksgiving in my home. And I told my ex, I called my ex. My ex was like, wow. My ex was like, Becca, no wonder everything she told me that was going to happen to me has not happened. My ex is not spiritually strong like me. So he's a little skeptical. He's like, whoa. So my mother came to my house. My family, everybody came to my house. And I cleaned my entire house. Because I need to stop this video. This is too long. I cleaned my entire house. And once I cleaned my entire house, my house was clean. Everybody came. I cooked. Everyone came to my home. People started leaving after the Thanksgiving dinner. My mother opened the door in my bathroom. And she saw Pepe. Like a ritual, like a demonic ritual stuff. She was like, what is this doing in your house? She was like, do you know what this means in Sierra Leone? She was like, this means that you will fight with everybody. This means commotion. This means trouble. If you have this in your home, that means you won't have peace with nobody. I was like, what are you talking about? I clean my house. Why would I put rituals in my own house? I was like, Pastor P was here. Pastor P was here and she must have put that in my home. And she hid that right underneath a frame that I had in my bathroom. I was like, no wonder I was fighting with everybody. But it was just funny to me that was there in my house for months. For about a month. And I didn't have no idea. And that has been in my house for over a month. I had no idea. I was like, wow. After that, I was randomly looking for my shoes. And I found threads, little black threads, over 50 of them. Tiny, tiny black threads in my shoes. I started becoming suspicious of things in my house. I was like, okay, there's some rituals that was done in my home when I wasn't here. From Pastor P. I challenged God. I was like, God, you must show me every single area that things are hidden in my home. You must show me. I challenged God. I went on fasting and prayer again. This time it wasn't Esther fasting though, because I need to eat my food. That is when the Lord gave me a dream. The Lord gave me a dream of her doing rituals in my home. Ay, Jesus. Oh my God. I didn't even know I had this power within me. I didn't even know God God put something in me to be able to expose the kingdom of darkness like this. The Lord showed me everywhere that she was doing rituals. In the dream now, I was like, what are you, in the dream, I'm talking to her in the dream. I was like, what are you doing? I'm seeing her doing rituals. She's doing this in the dream. She's going, it was so demonic. It was so demonic. I was like, Jesus. Oh my God, I have chills all over my body. She was doing this in the dream. She was doing it in one corner. Then she left. She went to another corner. And I asked her in the dream, I said, who sent you? Who sent you to me? And she said, I cannot tell you who sent me to you. If I tell you, I'm going to die. I was determined to find out who sent her. I was like, I'm going to find out who sent her. I started praying again. The Lord woke me up every night at 2:30 in the morning. 2 times of those 2:30 in the morning, I could hear dogs cry in my complex. I wish I saved that video. I could hear dogs cry at 2:30 in the morning, waking up to pray. I was determined who sent her. The Lord exposed who sent her. Where this person came from. I'm not going to say specifically who this person is. I can't say it because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against rulers of darkness. The problem is not within the person. The problem is the demonic spirit in the person. But I'm going to tell you guys. Right after I had that dream, I started searching on things, but I didn't see it. But the Lord said, anoint your closet. Behind your closet, anoint it. I anoint my closet. But I could feel something was creeping in that closet. I could feel something in that closet. A few days later, I found something in that closet. I'm going to tell you guys the last part of the story, which is the conclusion of who sent her, the conclusion of why they sent her, the conclusion of who she is, the conclusion of what type of agent she was. I'm going to say that later. But that is how I found out about Pastor P was an agent. Talk to you guys later. Bye for now. So this is a summary of who Pastor P is, what was her motive, and what type of agent was she. Now, obviously, Pastor P came in my life during the time I was in a relationship. She's an agent of destruction. Like, she comes to destroy people's relationship, and that she destroy people's lives. She do whatever it takes to turn people against each other so they can fall apart. Obviously, I was not the most holiest person. I was not the most holiest person back then. So, of course, it was easy for her to manipulate. When you are living in sin, when you are living your life sinfully, it is so much easy for agents to manipulate your life. They can come and destroy your life. But when you have the covering of God, you are protected. This is how a lot of people's relationships fall apart and things like that. So she's an agent of destruction. So she came in to destroy a relationship. She came in to destroy me, to manipulate the mind of the person I was with. She could have been sent, because she was sent. She could have been sent from someone that I know, from my side. She could have been sent from she could have been sent from anyone. But she had a motive. She had a goal, and that goal was to come and destroy the relationship that was in. One time, the real pastor, Pastor Yu, was praying for me, and he just happened to just pray for me and this individual that I was with. He was like, I don't know, I just really like you guys together. I really feel like God put you guys together. I really just, I don't know, it could be from God, it could not be from God, but I just love you guys together, and you guys, I just feel it in my spirit. You guys will be happy and great together. So he just decided to pray for us. And when he was praying, after he was done praying, he was like, man, I saw a vision. And the vision that I saw is, I saw someone put a picture of you guys in an altar. And the picture, the person cut the picture, and you guys are against each other. Like, he's facing against something else. you were facing something else. They cut your picture in half. And I was like, wow. I remember my picture in my house that I had of in my previous relationship. I just had that picture in my fridge, on top of my fridge. That picture went missing when Pastor P was around. The Lord exposed to me that there are many agents around the world that comes to destroy people's relationship, that comes to destroy people's life, that comes to run people's finances dry, that comes to just manipulate the minds of believers, destroy. That the devil don't look like the devil no more. He don't look like no witches. Matter of fact, agents are worse than witches. This is what the Lord exposed to me. If you have anything against what I'm saying, go to Jesus, okay? But the Lord told me that agents are worse than witchcraft. Like witchcraft, they are not sent, but agents, they are sent. They need to do something. They have to destroy something. It is the price that they pay them for. It is when they come and destroy your life or do what they come to, when they come to do what they are called to do, they get this big price in the kingdom of darkness. So there are different types of agents in the kingdom of darkness. Agents to run your money dry, agents to destroy your life, agents to destroy your relationship, agents to stop you from getting married, agents to destroy your health. There are different type of agents, and these people, the Lord exposed to me that they are living among us. Now, some of them, they don't even know that they are agents. Some of them are being used by the enemy. The enemy in order for the devil to do his work, the devil is not God, okay? In order for the devil to do his work, he uses people. People are his gateway to get people to do his, for him to do his work. He's not omnipotent like God. He's not omnipotent like God. God can save anybody. Anyone, God can console anyone. Anyone can talk to God. God is free. Salvation is free and open to everybody. But the enemy needs people to do his work. That is the way he can get access. That is the way he can manipulate the minds of believers. In order for him to do his work, he needs people. So he has many different agents that are living among us. And some of these agents, they don't look like what you think they look like. They come in as the nicest people. They come in as someone that can be your best friend, someone that can be your auntie, your uncle, your grandma. Some of them that could even be your mom. Like, they are working for the devil. They are all around us. So I just wanted to let you guys know who Pastor P was, and for you guys to just be careful and stay on your A game and always stay praying. Have a blessed day. This story is officially over. Bye.
Okay, so now that you watched that, let's have the spiritual session. As always, if you're new here, just going to go over some disclosures. If I freeze at any point in time, it is because of the green screen that I use. So you might see my face freeze temporarily, but you still should hear my voice, okay? We do not spiritually / religiously condemn or bully on this channel. Please do not talk down about the content creators or comment under anybody's comments. Doing that, we keep it open here for everybody of all different belief systems. They are all welcome here. Okay, so let's not spiritually bully, condemn. We're not here for that. We're here for spiritual awareness, to have the conversation, to see how we can grow from it. Okay, so that long video. So again, I'm gonna not make the spiritual session very long because that video was already long, and I don't want this video overall to be super, super, super long. But you know, spiritual manipulation is something we definitely have to talk about, because I feel like people just don't talk about it enough. Okay, you would, like, let's say for example, I'm a Christian, right? Because I'm not religious. Okay, I'm more of a spiritual person. I'm not a religious person. But let's say that I'm a Christian, right? Let's say I'm really heavily religious, really into it, all of that. I might fellowship or be cool with somebody who is also claiming to be a Christian, right? And then we have these conversations, and then, it's really, I see how she says she fell spiritually in love with her. First, when she said I fell in love with her, I was like, oh, wait, this about to take a turn. But she's like, spiritually, I'm like, oh, okay. But I can see how that's possible. People do spiritually fall in love with people. There's a lot of people who fall in love with their pastors, like, spiritually, and it's like they be in an unhealthy way. So I get what she said when she's like she spiritually fell in love with them. So you can fellowship with the person, and then you just like spiritually be so in love and in tune with them and their word and what they have going on and all of that, to where you kind of don't see anything else. You're like in la spiritual love. Okay. So I understand her when she says that. It's very, very important, no matter what you practice, to have discernment. I don't care what you're doing. Okay. Have discernment. no matter what belief system you have, because you can always run across people who might seem like they're the same as you. Some of these people be trying to destiny swap. Some of these people real deal do witchcraft. Okay. Um, there's a lot of people don't get fooled by them saying, "Oh, well, I'm a Christian," or "I'm a Christian," or "I'm a prophet," or "I'm a priest," or "I'm a." Don't get caught up on that, okay? Because people be lying. People be lying. People will really be out here, real deal, work low vibrational as ever, working straight up with demonic entities, forces, the devil themselves that made deals with them, entities, whatever, to exchange souls with you, and then you won't even like know. Okay, there was, I don't know if it was on this channel, but there was a lady who straight up, I think it was, who straight up said she was a witch, right? She was a witch. Well, she practiced witchcraft. And she said that she would go to ladies' bellies, okay, and take the spirit of the baby. That's another thing. Do not let people touch your belly. Okay, don't do it. Sometimes you don't even want friends to touch you. I'm not gonna hold you. Some people be jealous. Sometimes people are jealous of you. Let's say that you got pregnant and you were friend and your friend has been trying to get pregnant for a long time. You might want to be cautious sometimes on letting people touch your belly. I'm being serious. Like, I know that might sound crazy to people, but I'm being dead serious because some people really do wish the best for you and really do pray for your downfall more than you ever think you know. Okay, so yeah, that lady would say that she was sent to like take souls. So she would walk in the church and touch pregnant women's bellies. And this was in a different country. She was in a different country. And she would touch people's bellies in the church, acting like she's all excited and happy when she's really getting their souls for the devil. Straight up. That's what she said. It was on, I don't know if I shared it on here, but it was for sure on TikTok when I ran across it. I'm like, what? Excuse me? She was on a podcast revealing it. I think she was like an ex-Satanist or something like that. So you have to have discernment, okay? And that goes for any type of religious or spiritual belief. I don't care if you're going to a tarot reader, I don't care if you're going to a priest, a pastor, whatever. You have to have discernment. And sometimes it's not even just the spiritual roles that they have. Sometimes it's your doctors, it's your kids' teachers, it's your doctors, your nail technician. You just never know. People have gotten real creative at being in certain industries to do low vibrational, low frequency, demonic spiritual work like witchcraft, black magic, etc. So you have to be careful. Okay. That it was so many like so much wrong in that video, and her wanting her to pray certain kind of ways was weird. It definitely would have gave me a red flag though signal when she didn't want to never pray. Like, how are you a pastor but you never wanted to pray? I mean, pray out loud. You never wanted to pray out loud, but you a pastor. Like, and her mom would try to get her to. Remember how I told y'all that the mothers are going to be or are the spiritual protectors? They are. Notice how it's always the mothers who pick up on stuff, even in the movies, right? The moms be picking up on stuff real quick, and they be like, this house is haunted. Something going on with the house. The house is haunted." And then the dads all the time be like, "No, you tripping," or like, "Okay, you need to go get help. You need to seek help." Remember on Orphan? Y'all remember that movie Orphan, where that the little adult was a dwarf, like, or what was she? She suffered from dwarfism, and she was adult this whole time, and she portrayed herself as a kid, and the mama the whole time was saying something awful, her something wrong. The husband, his dumb ass, was like, "No, you're being rude to our daughter," and blah blah blah. I'm telling you, the mamas always pick up on stuff quick. We be knowing. But again, I told y'all, the women, you are the spiritual protectors. This is why. And this is the reason why you have to be the spiritual protectors, because we were born with a intuition. Okay? Pregnancy, all of that is spiritual, all of it. So we are like the spiritual protectors of our family. We are the people who are supposed to break generational curses, be the leader in that. You know what I mean? Obviously like boys as well, but like the leaders in that being aligned and aware of what's going on with the family spiritually. The men are supposed to be here physically for it. Like they are supposed to physically protect the family, provide, etc. When the women are supposed to spiritually protect the family, you're supposed to be praying over your family, be spiritually aware of what's going on, like intuitively know if something's off, something needs to happen, whatever. But all of that happens for a reason. Women be knowing things, be picking up on stuff. So that's why it's important that we have these conversations, we be spiritually aware to know these things, because all of this stuff that goes on in the spiritual world, all the videos that I talk about on my channel, we need to know this stuff because you just never know. Like you could literally be going to the ocean at night, hearing somebody sing in the waters. And if you're not spiritually aware, you're not going to know that that is a sign of spiritual danger. Get away from the ocean immediately. Okay. We don't be doing this in the States. In the United States, we think it's all make believe and play when it really don't be like that. Like it really do be some stuff going on, some stuff that's just unexplainable to us. Okay. So it's just important that we be spiritually aware and spiritually protect ourselves. Watch out for spiritual manipulation because it happens all the time. For materialism, material gain, like you have got to be careful with spiritual manipulation. They know how to do it, and then you have these scammers who like they will pay attention to what you like online on your social media, and then they will portray to be that like, oh, I'm a priest from blah 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 and you need to be blessed, or I'm a tarot reader and you need to be blessed. Like they be scamming you. But the same thing happens in the real world with real people. Like they will scam you. A lot of these people be living fake lives. A lot of their and don't, like I said, don't get the title confused. There is I think that the biggest problem with some people who are religious is they think it's just like people who do like witchcraft, for example, or something like that. They think those are just the bad people. When you have to realize, no, there has been how many priests that touch on little boys, okay? That's demonic. There has been how many this especially what this last past year or two, it's been a couple of pastors that they just called out randomly for being DL, down low, okay? um it's a lot. It don't just get caught up on thinking that only like, oh my god, this person looks like they're demonic, so they're bad. Baby, it be bad and demonic in the church. I hate to say it, but it do. It be bad and demonic in the churches. It be bad and demonic sometimes in the schools. It's bad and demonic is everywhere. So my whole thing is please just don't think that just because it looks a certain way, it says certain things that it's not demonic. That's why discernment is important. That's why your spiritual health is important. Some of y'all may not be able to have full discernment if you are not working on your spiritual health and your spiritual hygiene. When's the last time you went on a fast? When's the last time you prayed and talked to God like for real? You know what I mean? When is the last time that you have done some good spiritual work? You know, like it's there's stuff that you could probably work on to make sure your spiritual hygiene is good so you don't put yourself at risk. But that's what I have to say. Like I said, this is already long, so I don't make this too long. But y'all let me know y'all stories on this video. What do you guys think? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I will see you on the next one.